Hi, I'm Tim Funk with the Charlotte Film Society, and I'm with David Constantin today. He's the director of an exciting new film from the island country of Mauritius. The film is called Sugarcane Shadows. David, welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Sure. Talk about what kind of reaction and response your film is getting in the United States and around the world.
Well, this is the first time for this film in the United States, and it's the first time ever for a Mauritian movie in the United States.
Wow.
We played it at the Seattle International Film Festival last week, and I was very surprised to see that the cinema hall was full to see the film. This film, we showed it in something like 12 or 13 film festivals, mainly in Europe and Africa. And in European film festivals, I'm more used to have like 20 people in the audience, and here in Seattle it was like 150 people. It was, I think, the most beautiful screenings we had up to now with this film.
Talk about filmmaking in Mauritius. You're something of a pioneer, I understand.
Yeah, we can say that. This film is the first one to be produced by a Mauritian company and directed by a Mauritian filmmaker. In the past, there has been one film 15 years back. That was the first Mauritian film produced by a French company but directed by a Mauritian. And we are still in the process of, we can't speak Mauritian cinematography, it's just starting things now. And we are trying to, as we do films, also have people train on them, training technicians, training actors, etc. So it's like doing everything at the same time.
I understand you use non-actors in your films. So
yeah.
What are the challenges and the rewards of working with non-actors?
I think I like working with non-actors. I've done several short films with non-actors also before, and I think it's interesting because when I choose them sometimes on casting, most of the times on castings, and we try to look for something that in their real life can speak about the character they will be playing, and this thing of taking from them something real, I think is very important, and then it's not really about playing but about being themselves in front of the camera. So.
What role do film series like ours in Charlotte play in getting the word out about your film and getting it seen by more people?
It's very important for me to show this film to around the world to very different audiences. We showed it in Africa, we showed it in Europe with audiences that we can say have no direct connections to, and here more than in Europe have no direct connections to Mauritius and to that story. But that is what is great about films, about movies, is that even if it's a film from so far, speaking of a story about local people in a village very far from here, we still can find some universal message and things and talk to people about it, because what the film speaks about, it talks about, it is the end of an economic model we have all known, and we are now going to something else, to another model, another era, and I think this can speak to anyone across the world, and it's very, very exciting to show this to people who are not directly related to the film, and to show how they can connect this to their lives, and that's cinema. That's great.
So Mauritius has about 1.3 million people. It's off the southeast coast of Africa, I believe.
Exactly, the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Now, your film is about economic hardship and the effect of globalization, I guess. Globalization's hit North Carolina, too. How is it playing out in your country? I mean, what kind of industries is it affecting, and what people are losing their jobs?
in Mauritius, we used to be the backbone of our economy. Used for centuries have been sugarcane, sugar, and
That's the title of your.
that's the title of the film. And with the end of we had some economic partnership with Europe that guaranteed the Mauritian sugar a special price on the European market. So they bought it at a price higher than the real market price. And because now of globalization of new rules in international trade, Europe stopped this program of supporting the Mauritian sugar, and the price went down by 40%. So that's why the country had to adapt its economy to this new thing, and that was that sugar industry could not be the same as it was before. When I was a young one, there was like 25 sugar mills in Mauritius. Now there are 4 mills only. Big plants, completely automated, with very few people working in them. And all these people who were working in these mills have been put to early retirement. And it's not about saying that it was better before, or that we should be nostalgic about this time. Or it's just about how can an economic evolution take into account the life of people and the welfare of the people. And I think it's universal and it speaks to anyone. And I'm not answering to your question.
So tourism is now.
And
big.
now tourism is the growing industry. Mm-hmm. It has been growing since some times now, but now it's like really the main industry in Mauritius. And everyone knows that tourism industry is quite fragile, because it depends a lot on the international economic context, on the mood of people around the world. Do they travel? Do not travel? In times when we had the economic crisis, our main markets, European markets mainly, went down. So we have got like 110 or 20 hotels, 5-star and 4-star hotels, and well, we have to get them to be people to come to make this work. And we can see the problem from two sides. We can see the problem from our side, kind of artistic view or intellectual view on this problem, that says that, well, okay, economic development versus life of people, etc. But we must also take into account what the people that live in these villages, that are directly in contact with everyday life, with jobs in the sugarcane, the hotel, etc. They see all these change also as the chance for the children to get like to a higher level in the society. They will stop working in the sugarcane fields and sugarcane mills, a manual job, and get some more interesting jobs in hotels. But it's also kind of, there will always be low qualified jobs, because you can't give to the youth of your country as only perspective of working for tourists. So we must find something else for our youth.
Before we sign off, I did want to ask you to talk a little bit about yourself. How do you get? Where did talk about how you became a filmmaker in the country?
Okay, I've always done films, photography, painting. I started. My father was a painter, so I started very early painting, and I always knew. The question never came to myself of what I'm going to do afterwards, because when I will grow up, because I always knew I would do something in an artistic field, either painting or photography or cinema. And then I tried all of these. I worked for a while in Mauritius after high school before leaving and going on study in France. And well, when I took a camera for the first time, I thought that this was the best way I could speak out what I wanted to say.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming to Charlotte, and
Thank you
and
for
good luck with
inviting
your
me
film.
here. Thank you.
Take care.